Anyone. What does your gut say?
Bonnie still needs us. Our time ain't over yet.
Welcome back to GMA Life. Now to Toy Story 5 and Taylor Swift's song, I Knew It, I Knew You.
Love that one. And she sat down only with ABC to talk about the hit song.
We talk about Toy Story all the time and how that really shaped our childhood.
But I knew it, I knew it.
It's the heartfelt song that's dominating the charts.
And you told me I loved you. Came back when it mattered, I saw you.
Taylor Swift's I Knew It, I Knew You. For Toy Story 5, bringing her back to her country roots.
Went to go see Toy Story 5. Got so inspired, got the songwriter zoomies. In 2 hours, Bob Iger and Tom from Pixar are coming to hear it. We have not recorded it yet. And I think this is one of the most fun days of my life.
The star writing the song with longtime collaborator and friend, Jack Antonoff.
I called him up and I just really quickly blurted out, like, I got to see the new Toy Story. I have to tell you all about the film, but we need to write this song. We need to write this song. And like, it was just, I was so excited. It was such a frenetic form of excitement that I just blathered out, like, we have to write this song. Let's FaceTime.
The song's a tribute to Jessie, the cowgirl who stole our hearts in Toy Story 2.
We've seen her have her heart broken. Like, we've watched, the car pull away. I'm really emotional talking about this. In this film, watching her have it turn out a little differently. There's a different arc. There's lessons she's learned that really made me feel like I knew exactly what I wanted to write for her.
Bonnie still needs us. Our time ain't over yet.
What means a lot to me about this song is that in life, you have friendships, you have memories with people, you form bonds, and then sometimes a path takes you a different way. Sometimes you see somebody again down the road and you're just like, man, it's been a while. But you're the same person that I had all these memories with.
Some folks might be a little bit smarter than I am.
No one's smarter than you.
Swift song even getting the seal of approval from Randy Newman.
Randy's the only person who's ever written the scores. He's the only person who's ever written the songs. He's been amazing and supportive and encouraging. This just kind of felt very natural, to be honest.
Toy Story 5 is now in theaters, and that's all for GMA Life.
Up next, all the top stories and latest news right here on ABC News Live, where the news never stops.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Postmates, we get more of LA.
All right, team, listen up. I've changed my mind. I'm gonna have the truffle butter filet mignon.
Oh, that's a great decision, boss.
I'll take the miso chicken. See, that's for me.
I'm gonna do the black and salmon.
Sweet and sour shrimp for me.
Their crust? Incredible.
Yep, and now stuffed crust is part of Domino's best deal ever. Talk about incredible.
Passports, bags, thermostat, Uber. Because there are 5 a.m. flights in your area, there are drivers in your area.
Right now on ABC News Live Weekend, wildfire danger reaching a breaking point in the West. Red flag warnings stretching across 6 states as fast-moving flames force evacuations. Also coming out, the race against time in Venezuela. The death toll keeps climbing after twin earthquakes as thousands remain missing. And the FAA wants answers after a Boeing cargo plane is caught on camera flying just 25 feet above a Texas runway. ABC News Live Weekend starts right now. Happy Saturday to you, and thank you so much for joining us here on ABC News Live Weekend. I'm Faith Abube. We have a lot of news to get to, but we begin this afternoon with the dangerous conditions fueling wildfires across the West. A state of emergency in effect in Utah as more than a dozen fires burn out of control. The infernos already prompting mandatory evacuations, and officials there are telling more people to have their go bags ready to go. ABC's Melissa Adon is tracking it all for us.
Hey, Faith. So the fire danger in Utah is rapidly growing. Officials there telling people to have their go bags ready just in case, because any new wildfire that sparks could be life-threatening. They have crews there fanned out across the state. Multiple wildfires burning across Utah amid one of the rarest, most extreme weather warnings out west.
We are seeing things that we have never seen before.
Utah declaring a state of emergency as the National Weather Service calls it a particularly dangerous situation. At least 14 new fires erupting in the state in just 24 hours, forcing evacuations for several new counties. Overnight, 2 wildfires merging into one. The Cherry Fire burning more than 12,000 acres south of Salt Lake City. Officials there shutting off power. The Cottonwood Fire still 0% contained. Now one of Utah's most destructive fires in the state's history, with more than 71,000 acres scorched. The scale of the flames captured on Ring camera video. Embers seen flying. Flames on the mountain burning cabins and trees. Mark LeDuc watching the devastation unfold.
The smoke cloud was getting bigger and bigger, and, just incredible, really, in a devastating and sad way to watch how fast that fire just all of a sudden appeared.
This is all that is left of Trent Owen's home, where he, his wife, and their 2 children lived.
It's really hard for my 8-year-old daughter. Everything that she knows and her whole upbringing and her home, her bedroom, all her stuff is gone.
Southwest of Salt Lake City, the Iron Fire burning over 40,000 acres, but with 27% containment, officials lifting some evacuation orders. Residents of Eureka making an emotional return home.
Happy that everybody's home. They're still here.
On top of already battling these large, uncontrolled wildfires, Utah is dealing with extremely dry vegetation, gusty winds, and humidity levels down to 5%. So, Faith, it's making this really dangerous for any new fire activity.
Yeah, definitely. Melissa, thank you so much. And all that dryness, heat, and wind sure to make things worse there. For more on how the weather is impacting firefighting efforts, we want to turn to our meteorologist, Leslie Lopez. Leslie, what's the latest here?
It's still really a dire situation in terms of the weather story. That fire weather is continuing forward. I do want to show you just how dry it is in some of these areas. This was over into Colorado. You can see the dust is just blowing through these areas. Again, it is really concerning because we know humidity levels are going to get down into single-digit territory. While the West is dealing with that extreme dry weather, the Midwest and the Plains are dealing with a lot of moisture, a lot of muggy weather, and unfortunately, the impacts of severe weather later today into tomorrow. I want to take you back to the West where, again, we're still talking about the fire danger because of the low humidity, but also the wind. Unfortunately, that really helps to push a fire along at a very fast velocity. Right now, we're looking at wind gusts of about 55 miles per hour. And again, dry fuels that'll really help ignite and accelerate the flames. So again, this is a concern if you see any fires break out. We know there are some in the Utah area. But again, Colorado, Steamboat Springs, Breckenridge, Telluride, all the way down to New Mexico, getting into Arizona, Nevada, parts of California, they're all under this red flag warning. So it is going to be dire in a certain area. I do want to show you this. This is really where you can see the most critical concern. This is in that Four Corners region where we're seeing anywhere from northeastern sections of Arizona, western New Mexico, and then anywhere in Colorado, especially on that western edge, along with the eastern edge of Utah. If fires break out in these areas, you can expect to see them explode. The ones that are near and around could also see that explosive growth through this afternoon as some of those wind speeds are expected to really start to increase. So unfortunately, that's the picture for the area. And that extreme heat that we're dealing with is going to start to shift towards the Midwest and the East Coast by next week. So big heads up. While it's going to be humid instead of that dry heat for this area, it's going to get up to 100 degrees or more for that heat index. So very, very concerning. So make sure you drink plenty of water and take plenty of rest breaks if you're outdoors. Find those cooling centers. Faith?
Great advice, Leslie. Thank you so much. A desperate search underway right now for survivors of those devastating twin earthquakes in Venezuela. A live look now at the recovery efforts in Caracas. The AP reporting the death toll has risen to more than 1,400. A website for reporting missing loved ones lists tens of thousands of people still unaccounted for. Joining me now in Caracas is journalist Tony Frangier-Mawad, who's joining in us, who's reporting on this as well. Tony, thank you so much for joining us at such a difficult time. It's been nearly 72 hours since the earthquakes. So what are you seeing there on the ground in Caracas?
So the situation is really dire right now. Right now I'm actually talking from a relief center where we are preparing food for senior citizens that were moved from the wrecking sites in La Guaira, which is the most affected area, coastal town outside Caracas. What we've seen is a very generous, very wide response from civil society, from neighborhood organizations, religious organizations, schools, but a practical total absence of the state. The response from the state has been very soft, very mild, and the arrival of aid from abroad happened, 2 days after the earthquake. So time is against us, and we know that there are still tens of thousands of people missing, and we know from reports, even from within the ruins, that people are trapped in the rubble, even sending messages, text messages to their relatives and friends. So the situation is really dire, and as I said, there's buildings that fell in Caracas, but especially in La Guaira outside Caracas, where hundreds of buildings fell, and that's where most of the missing people is right now.
And obviously this is a very emotional time for everyone there, especially those who are directly affected by this. What stands out to you about how Venezuelans have responded to this disaster?
I actually feel that despite the horror and the catastrophe that we're enduring as a country, it has shown our best side as a people. Despite the institutional absence that we've seen, people have actually managed to organize relief centers, to organize campaigns, to organize distribution networks, and mobilize to the most affected areas to help those in need. I feel that it shows that our country, despite a long-standing humanitarian crisis in the last years, after a massive economic contraction like the one we lived in the last decade, after an earthquake, and after 2 decades of authoritarianism, Venezuelan society still has high spirits and managed to continue using our communitary networks, our family networks, our civil organization networks to provide relief and to continue existing as a unified society.
Yeah, and so much going on right now, and aid is coming in, and we wish you guys just a quick recovery through this process. Tony, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
And back here stateside in Texas, the FAA is investigating a video posted on X showing a Boeing 777 making a low pass over a private airport. Take a look. You can see it here. Passing very low over a runway in Horseshoe Bay Wednesday. And according to data from Flight Radar 24, the plane was just 25 feet from the ground. The registered owner says that he's seen this video and that the flight was not within operational standards. And forget the running of the bulls. Italy's got the vrooming of the Vespas. The streets of Rome filled with scooters today, with riders coming from as far away as California to celebrate the 80th anniversary of the iconic vehicle. Vespas were first made famous by the 1953 film Roman Holiday, which starred Audrey Hepburn. Now, since then, the colorful and unmistakably Italian mopeds have filled streets around the globe. All right, coming up, it's the home to North America's tallest mountain with a large population of wildlife. And Alaska's native people and culture have been shaping the state for thousands of years. Our latest stop in our 50 States in 50 Weeks series coming up next. Also,
Still trying to sabotage me and stack lies. But still I rise and come alive through them flat lines.
She's finally back on the music scene after a 5-year hiatus. Coming up, young M.A. joins me right here in studio to talk about her new album, Queen, and why she's releasing it on her own terms. We'll be right back.
Naomi loves the sound of earning and saving money on Vinted. Don't wear it, sell it.
Before we found Skyscanner, searching for travel deals got a little crazy.
I'm comparing travel sites on the phone tree.
Brilliant. But Skyscanner searches all our favorite travel sites with one simple search.
It's crazy, but in a good way.
Passports, bags, thermostat, Uber. Because there are 5 a.m. flights in your area, there are drivers in your area.
Stuffed crust just entered the chat.
Get a look at that.
Any pizza, even stuffed crust for just $9.99? I'm in.
A free gift from my Medicare number.
Dad.
Come on. I know this is fraud. Never accept gifts for your Medicare number. And get wise to Medicare fraud. Learn more at medicare.gov/fraud.
Source, ABC's This Week.
Welcome back to ABC News Live Weekend. Time now for the latest stop in our 50 States in 50 Week series. From towering glaciers and snow-capped mountains to wildlife you won't find anywhere else. Alaska is a place so majestic, it feels like you're being transported to another world altogether. But beyond the breathtaking scenery is something even more remarkable: the people and the cultures that have called Alaska home for thousands of years. Joining me now is Kelsey Chu-Gun-Wallace, President and CEO of Alaska Native Heritage Center, to talk all about this. Kelsey, thank you so much for being here.
Boyana, for having me.
Of course. So when people picture Alaska, they often think of the glaciers, the bears, the northern lights. What's the biggest part of Alaska's stories that visitors are missing?
The beautiful Alaska Native cultures, our traditions, our stories. When people often think about Alaska, they think about stories of the past, and our beautiful cultures and our peoples are alive and thriving and are very, very vibrant today.
And some people may not know this, but Alaska is home to 229 federally recognized tribes and 11 distinct Alaska Native cultural groups. So how does the Alaska Native Heritage Center help visitors experience all these cultures in a respectful and meaningful way?
The Heritage Center represents all of Alaska's native cultures truly in one place, making it a beautiful introduction so travelers are aware of the diversity of Alaska's indigenous peoples before going off and exploring the rest of the state. And here at the Heritage Center, we are truly more than a museum. We are a living cultural center where visitors can experience, live traditional dance performances. You can hear our stories being told. You can view and participate in our Alaska Native games. You can learn from artists and really experience true, authentic Alaska Native art.
And just to expand a little bit on what you just said, what are some of the other traditions, performances, or hands-on activities that leave the biggest impression on people who come to the Heritage Center?
It's really about making experiences and creating these opportunities for folks to participate in, whether that's participating on stage with an Alaska Native dance performance, whether that's learning one of our Alaska Native games, walking through our life-size traditional village sites here at the Heritage Center that represent our different regions of Alaska. Visitors can learn and meet Alaska Native artists and learn about, both our traditional and contemporary art form. You're able to hear our indigenous languages being spoken and really truly understand why, our languages and our cultures are so central here to our ways of life in Alaska.
Yeah, and it's been great for us to learn so much about Alaska in our stop on our 50 States in 50 Weeks tour. Thank you so much, Kelsey.
Thank you, Koyana Jaknip.
June is Pride Month, and it's estimated there are more than 1 million LGBTQ military veterans in the United States. This summer, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, we honor the distinguished service of queer veterans, including Brooklyn native Charles Pisano. Here's our ABC station, WABC in New York, with more on his story.
We're very happy here. We've been here since 1980, and it's a beautiful neighborhood now. I got this letter in 1965. I was 18. That said, greetings. We were to report to Whitehall Street for induction. Going to the Army was not something I planned on, and it was a big shock to me. I ended up going to Fort Gordon, Georgia, and then I ended up going to Fort Ord, California for advanced training. New orders came out that I was going to Germany. This is a picture of me when I was in the Army in Germany. As you can see, the hat looks 10 times bigger than me. Being in another country was so different for me because I've never been out of the country before. I ended up having a very good time when I was in the Army. In fact, I came out in the Army. We were very, very secretive, especially on base. There was a town called Stuttgart, and that's where we would meet in one of the bars there. And we talked there, and that was our release. I took a lot of leaves to go to different countries while I was in Germany. Most of the guys I was with in my barracks just wanted to go to drink. I said, no, I'm in Europe. I want to see these countries. So I got to see 13 countries while I was there. While I was in Italy, I said, I'm going to get the nerve to go to the Vatican and go to St. Peter's and tell the priest in the confessional that I was gay. I figured I'm so far away from home, what could happen? So I go to the priest in the confessional there, and I tell the priest I'm gay. But he looked at me and says, being able to love another person in the world is the most beautiful thing in the world. Don't condemn yourself. I walked out of that confessional with my head held high. That's the first time I felt proud. I walked out of that confessional. I felt like a new person. When I came back to New York, I still had a protected lifestyle. One day I saw these two guys with tight white pants on. So I said, they're gay, they have to be gay. So I followed them to the stone wall. And when they get to the stone wall, this is going to show you how secret it was. The guy opens a little box on the top door, like a speakeasy. And if you looked gay, he would let you in. I get in there, I was so fascinated, I was so happy. I said, my God, I finally found this. I found a new beginning. I met George. We're at a gay bar in Brooklyn Heights, and I call him over. I said to him, would you like to dance? He says, okay, we danced. So we ended up talking the rest of the night. We exchanged numbers and all that, and we started dating. In fact, I still have the piece of paper in my wallet of the number, his phone number that he gave me. I've been with my husband, George, for 55 years now, and it's one of the best part of my life. I'm very extremely happy about it. And when Governor Cuomo passed the law about marriage equality, I sent email out to a couple of friends. I said, after a long engagement of 40 years, we're going to get married. This is the photo of when George and I got married on November 5th, 2011.